Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. Doing something different this week, so I'm going to tell you that I'm Stacey Bowles, or otherwise known as Tickling Humper. That was my stripper name. Harry, your stripper name is the first letter of your first name.
Huh?
Freaky. And your birth month.
November.
So your stripper name is Freaky Rubber.
Freaky Rubber.
And Ben, the first letter of your first name. Weapon.
Go on.
And your birth month.
April.
So you're weapon teacher.
Oh, that's
Rubbish.
So this week we're just going to answer some questions from you lovely listeners, but just before we do, I want to give a shout out to a few more listens we've had that we've never had before. So we're going to say hi to people in Egypt, Finland and Norway. Thanks for listening.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
I'm also really pleased to tell you that Denmark is still listening. We've had loads of downloads from Denmark. They listened at the very start. They dropped off halfway through. Now they're listening again. So Denmark, catch up. Catch up.
If you're in Denmark, email in. Why are you listening? In a nice way. I just
Stop listening, Denmark.
Just like Denmark of all places.
Carry on listening.
Yeah. No, please do keep listening. I'm just, yeah.
As I've said before, we are just a small podcast doing what we can for the listeners.
We're just trying to go up against Big Pod.
So as of August, when we started, we've actually finished the year just shy of 600 listens, which is not bad, I think, for a little podcast,
that.
You know. At first, we had a lot of listens, and it's from, petty listens. Petty? Not petty. Pity.
No, petty.
Petty listens.
Petty listeners. They're like, oh, you're going to listen to your podcast, are you? Oh, you want to start a little business, do you? Oh, look at me, working from home. Oh.
But we've stabilised. And
done well.
I think we've come out quite well, I think. We get a steady listen from, globally. We appreciate everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we do.
Thanks very much.
And also, if you haven't already, check out our social media page because you're going to find exclusive content like Ben eating a hot chip or a Halloween parody or a picture of Harry and Ben looking extraordinarily like Harry and Marv from Home Alone. We've had a lot of comments on that. So, what questions have we got, Ben?
That's a great question. Peter asks, what director...
He didn't say where from.
Peter from Scotland. It's kind of chaos. No, sorry, I like this question. Anyway, so Peter from Scotland asks...
Where in Scotland, sorry?
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Oh my god. Oh, I need to know. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up.
Currently sitting at almost 9 minutes and we've got about 45 seconds of content. I reckon it's a good ratio.
Let's skip Peter's question.
You know when you see outtakes from the series and they're gone and they literally can't say their lines.
You're going to have to change the name.
I can't. We're sticking to Peter.
I can't change the name.
Anyway, Peter from Scotland asks, what's a forgotten gaming console or accessory you think deserves a comeback?
Console, Dreamcast.
Oh, come on.
No way. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, you will. It's a small hill.
Wait. We had a little question on a quiz the other day. It's like, what was the first console to introduce online multiplayer? Not about you, but online multiplayer is quite a big thing nowadays.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Fair enough.
No. Yeah, the guy who sent his birthday card to himself. Don't really think I've got any friends to play online with.
That's true. That's fair.
Was it Phantasy Star Online? Was the first one?
One of the first. Quake.
Quake was the first.
Choo Choo Rocket. All that crap.
Choo Choo Rocket was the first.
Yeah.
One of the first online games.
Yeah,
Wow, what a legacy.
You would love Choo Choo Rocket.
Oh, I'm sure it was, yeah.
Really.
But how would you bring it back exactly as it was, or would you
modernise it?
Yeah.
Give it some sexy PS5 graphics. Update the controller a little bit because although the controller was great at the time, it's a bit clunky now.
What you're launching with though? Every console needs a good launch game.
So I'm kind of looking at it like I'd HDify what they released. So I'd make a up-to-date Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Jet Set Radio, Shenmue, Power Stone,
Aren't these all
Rez.
games? These are all games that are coming back though, aren't they? They're doing these sort of remasters. Sorry.
It's been rumoured. I just think it'd be amazing. Failing that, I think Sega Saturn was brilliant for a lot of the JRPGs it had. I'm a massive RPG fan. And I would like to see a lot of the Shining Force games come back. Grandia was on it. And the Saturn also had a very good shoot 'em up selection, which is quite fun, arcadey.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my choice.
Stace.
You know what? This isn't my choice, but I just want to give an honourable mention to the little screen that you used to put over your Game Boy Color or Game Boy.
The magnifying one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be mine.
Oh, that I don't. That's not my actual.
No, I can't use it now. I loved that thing.
No, I would probably pick, and it's not that old, but I think I'd go with the Wii U because we were actually talking about this the other day. The handheld section of the Wii U, the Wii U-ness, if you like.
The Weenus.
The Weenus. Yeah.
That's what it's called,
Wow.
Ben.
Wow.
That's why it was a commercial flop. A flop and Weenus. Hand in hand.
Maybe it means something different in Japanese.
Yeah, maybe.
That was really great for 2-player games. So we have to mention Rayman on the Wii U because Harry would play it with the controller and I would be using the tablet where I would be like pulling things out, pushing them in.
So, but what would you be doing? What would you be doing on the console?
And it was just really innovative and I haven't seen anything like that
Very
since.
different.
You should see the live streams. So many views.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand, mate. We need the Rumble pack. I'll buy it. I think mine's in between yours because I was going to go with the magnifying glass from the. Isn't that weird? You used to have a magnifying glass to play a.
And I used to have something that shielded it from the sun as well. I don't know if it was the same thing.
Yours was funny. I was going to say an umbrella. I can't wait to set my official Nintendo, my Game Boy Color, my magnifying glass, my parasol.
No, it'd be like a little cocktail umbrella. Just stick it in.
Yeah.
The Game Boy
Is that
Advance
not what-
SP killed any Game Boy accessories.
Oh, yeah.
Because it did everything all the accessories did and better.
Yeah, because it was fully
Backlit.
Yeah, but it was like a different kind of backlit, wasn't it? Because technically the other one was back. Wasn't one of the Game Boys backlit? I can't remember.
They had colour, but they were shit backlit.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy Advance actually had like an LED, so
Yeah.
you could see. You could play it with the lights turned on.
I loved that SP. I loved that SP so much.
I'd just like to point out that any and all of these that we're talking about, Harry still has and is for sale in 184-bit gaming.
Blah, 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 blah. Mine's going to be really simple. Light guns.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because weirdly enough, it popped up on my Instagram feed the other day of just, I think it was, what was it called?
House of the Dead, Time Crisis,
Before that one.
Virtual Cop.
That's it, Virtual Cop. And I just remember thinking, like, I used to spend so long on Time Crisis and Time Crisis 2. I would love to see light guns brought back, like modernised and given a new lease. I would love that.
Is this just a gun that you then like?
Yeah, it was the one you pointed at the screen. Like Duck Hunt did it as well. Yeah, like it was a very 90s, early 2000s thing, and then it just disappeared overnight somehow.
Well, it got big because arcades were big, and people got fed up of basically chucking quarters into the machine, and you didn't have to go to the arcade. If you had the light gun at home, you could play the game at home.
Yeah.
Arcade games are famously designed to be very difficult so that you keep pumping money into the machine. But if you've got it at home, you can just learn the map layout of where the enemies come out and you can beat it. What baffles me is that nowadays, so in the 90s, everyone would have had like a 20-inch TV, 32 if you were rich.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
jeez.
But now, TVs are humongous, aren't they, right? It makes no sense why there are no light gun games.
I don't know.
Because if you had a modernised Time Crisis, it would look amazing.
It would
to
look
play
so
on.
good.
But no, it's reserved for 19-inch CRT televisions, which look like garbage now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
bring it back.
surprised it's not a big thing now with VR as well. So you would have something.
I wonder if that's now become like the new light gun thing. It's just VR, but I don't want to spend $2,000 on VR.
It's a setup. You can't just have it like now. No.
Yeah, I really think in a few years someone is gonna do a light gun game again with a periphery, because I think plastic peripheries are starting to come back in a little bit. I think.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, like, we lived in the golden age of like what was it, like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and the light gun games and
The Dreamcast, which I may have mentioned earlier,
No,
has
never
the
met.
world record for the most accessories. It does, which is mad, seeing as the Wii come out.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm really curious about
I
that.
mean, it's from like stupid stuff to like fishing rods, light guns, maracas.
Fishing rods.
Yeah.
Tax reform, tax returns, judges' gavels.
Yeah, everything.
A saxophone for your Blue Man Group.
To be fair,
Water buoys.
the Wii might have taken the accessory record, because thinking back on it, there was a lot of accessories with the Wii.
Yeah, I mean, as well, like, I think If we're going to go for like an OG one, not to ever have again, but I think a power glove is always going to be. I think a power glove's going to have a special place in everyone's heart.
Like Michael Jackson.
If you. Oh right, okay.
That's not what he had.
What's a power glove?
He had multiple accusations.
And a power glove.
And a power glove.
They're very rare. I've never had one.
But you've got your answer. Aria from the UK asks, what's your favourite piece of pop culture memorabilia that you own or you wish you owned? I'm going to start with Harry because I feel like he's going to...
Oh my God, my favourite piece.
Because also I feel like every favourite bit of memorabilia you've wanted, you kind of have had, either through your business, 104bit Gaming, or through just buying it because you're exceedingly wealthy.
Oh, sometimes when I'm bored of it, I'll just throw it in the bin, and when I want a new one, I'll just buy a new one.
Yeah, I really wish you wouldn't do that with my stuff.
Yeah.
Is it your shiny Charizard?
I mean, that would be up there, but I quite like first four figures, and
Yes.
they do quite extravagant statues, and they're quite cool. And my favourite one is probably Sonic and Tails, where they're in the plane, they're in the biplane, and Sonic's on top of it. It cost me, about 8 years ago, £500 for this statue, and I literally had it out on display by the front door. So whenever we used to get like a knock at the door, Royal Mail would be like, "Is that a fucking Sonic statue?" I was like, "It is my baby, yes."
Yeah, it was like...
If you'd like a photo of it, it's £5.
I remember we came around once just so you could show us it. I genuinely, I remember that. I remember you saying, I've got the statue, do you want to come over? And I think we just looked at it.
I mean, you was only 2 doors down at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a long trek, but it was quite funny just to... you just walk in, he's just standing there like pointing at it.
And there it is.
It was like over knee height.
It was fucking
It's
massive.
huge. Heavy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
Yeah, I really like their stuff. They had a really good Artorias one from Dark Souls, which I really wanted, but you can't get that. You can't get that one anymore.
That is the problem with... Well, not problem, but they're very desirable because they'll only release like 1,000.
Yeah.
And when it's gone, it's gone. There's no reissues. They don't then 5 years later pull the rug out from the collectors.
No, there's a Solid Snake one from Metal Gear Solid, which goes for... People resell them, obviously, but they go for about £800 now, which at the moment I just can't justify.
It's insane. Like the Zelda ones, a lot of the Zelda ones go for mega money. Thousands.
I find it very hard to understand people that buy figures.
Because I'm a man-child and I'm making up for lost time as a child.
Fine, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm reliving my childhood.
Exactly.
When we went to Japan, we were in Akihabara and we went up this huge tall tower building. I can't remember what it was called, but it was full of different levels of statues, figurines, or comic books, or rather manga books, etc., etc. And we started up the top and we kind of swizzled our way down.
Swizzled your way down.
Swizzled our way down.
That's the term.
In Japan, there is no difference between having your anime figures right next to your nude inappropriate figures. So we were like, oh, that's cool. That's from Naruto. Oh my God, there's a pair of huge tits.
And they're like, oh, it's a reflection. Anyway, moving on.
Nice.
I forgot to wear my bra today.
Oh, I thought that was just like going to be you two in the reflect. Not okay. Well, that's all. That's going to be taken out of context, isn't it? Great. I look like a sexist dickhead.
Stay tuned for more Ben facts.
Okay, but
You don't have a favourite because you don't have a soul.
no, there's got to be. There's got to be.
I have a very good answer.
Go on.
And it's an answer with layers
Okay.
as well. I have a rare, I hope, unplayed Sgt. Pepper vinyl that from 1960, whenever it was out.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
Time machine.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Unplayed as well.
Unplayed, yeah. First edition Sgt. Pepper vinyl.
Was that like a present to yourself, or did you sort of stumble upon it?
No, so my auntie was, she's more of a Stones fan actually than Beatles fan, but she had it and she never played it, and she gifted it to me.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Not as cool as your dad's one.
Oh, Bowie.
Yeah, he's got a signed Bowie.
My dad had a...
He's got one of his guitars.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's really sad actually because Bowie is
he's dead.
What?
That's very sad.
Sorry to break it to you, Ben.
I'm not ready to talk about it. Bowie was one of my dad's music heroes. His best friend back in the day was a tour manager.
Okay.
And so he managed to get a signed thing from Bowie, but my dad's since lost it and we don't know where it is.
So sorry to hear about that you've lost it, Mr. Bells.
But
My dad isn't called Mr. Buns.
Oh no.
We're not brother and sister.
I hate to break this on the podcast, guys, but I've done an ancestry test. You may want to sit down.
This is your life.
I thought I remembered you.
I'm so sorry, Stacey's dad, that you've lost it.
But no, Sgt. Pepper vinyl, which I think is the epitome of pop culture, especially that album as well,
Okay.
with all the famous faces on its very.
I don't have a lot of memorabilia, really. Sort of never really able to be able to afford it, or just have never had the space for it. I do have a few rare games. I've got an original Rule of Rose game. Was it Rule of Rose?
Yeah, the PS2.
Yeah, I've got an original Rule of Rose PS2 game, which is now like very rare and like fairly valuable. I've got a sealed Silent Hill 2 from back in the day, which had one of the demo discs for. I think it had a demo disc for Metal Gear Solid 2 on it. I think it came with it.
Probably, because it's Konami.
Yeah, I think it came with a demo disc for like another game I really love. So I was like, I'll have that, never opened. And I remember buying that when we went to a gaming shop, I think, and just bought it there and then. Got one of the Diablos, the original Diablo on PlayStation.
I was with you when you got that.
Yeah.
That was in Norfolk.
It was. I don't know, one I'd really love to... I'd love to have something really simple. I would love to have like just a first edition shiny Pikachu or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something that's just the original run, a shiny Charizard, because he's my favourite, and I'll just frame that and put that on the wall. I think that'd be so nice.
So you're picking a Charmander as your starter Pokemon?
Yeah, Charmander's always my starter.
Controversial.
Oh no, he did alright. No, he doesn't... He suffers at the start.
Yeah, it's hard mode, because at the beginning it's
Yeah.
rock and then water gyms.
Yeah, which wasn't great. And then, but as long as you push through that, it gets got a bit easier. I think that, or I don't know, it'd probably be something like, I don't know. It's not a pop culture thing, but it's a sports thing. I'm going to change the question slightly. I would love to have one of my racing heroes, like Michael
Their
Schumacher.
tyre.
I'd love to have Senna's tyre he crashed with.
Yeah.
I'd have one of like a racing helmet from like a
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool for me. I've got one from Star Wars, which I definitely shouldn't have. I've got one of the...
Stormtrooper outfit.
Just the whole thing.
Made the train journey home very awkward.
Just like getting waved out by security. Like, something's different about you, Ben. I've just got shades on as well. It's like, I like them. Get out of here.
People steal shit from
Yeah.
the set all the time.
Yeah.
The stars steal shit. Like Ryan Reynolds was saying, like I may or may not have an original Deadpool outfit.
Yeah.
All the lightsabers must go missing.
Funny, I don't know why Ben Affleck keeps making an appearance on this podcast. He wanted to have one of his original Batman suits, and he was like, "Oh, can I have one of them, like as a gift?" And they went, "Well, not really. You could buy it though." I said, "Okay, how much?" And he went, "They're $100,000 dollars each." And there's 4 of them, and he went, "Oh, best not." And I was like, "Motherfucker, you earned millions off that. And you're not going to spend $100K on a suit."
Yeah.
Come on.
I agree.
He did, and now J-Lo's got it as part of the divorce.
No, she only took half. He gets the bottom half.
Oh, that's the worst half.
She gets the gadget.
Oh, I liked that question. That was a good one. And this is Natalie from Portland. Yeah, Portland. I said that right. Which obscure or forgotten movie franchise deserves a revival, in your opinion? Let's, we'll keep it to a film franchise. Which obscure or forgotten film franchise deserves a revival?
Franchise.
Do you know what? There's a few which I would say, but it's happened. Like I would have said The Evil Dead, but that's had it, and that's good. Also, The Crow, but I've heard that's not done so well.
Nope.
I would love to see The Breakfast Club redone, because
Really?
I think it's great in capturing the mood as a teenager and having fun and whatever at school. But if you watch it now, it hasn't aged well in some parts. It's quite uncomfortable in some areas.
Oh, see,
I'd like to see that redone.
I've only watched it once when I was a lot younger, and I really enjoyed it.
It's really, really good, but there's a moment with, and I've forgotten all their names, but the dighead guy he drops something under the table on purpose so that he can basically put his head under this girl's desk and look up her skirt. It's uncomfortable.
Taking notes.
Or, and we're all thinking it, Tenacious D, Pick a Destiny.
Yeah, when they get back together.
I would like to see that, to be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, Jack Black's a little bit overdone at the moment, but give it a bit of time to settle down where he's not fucking going into every video game franchise ever. I've got one, and I would really like to see a modern take of maybe The Lost Boys.
Oh, that would
be
be
good.
good. And that is a franchise.
Yeah.
There's more than...
Is there more than one?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them. I mean,
Is there?
Yeah, there's 3. The last
They're
2...
proper lost. Sorry, that's poor. I've really let everyone down there.
Got Ben.
Just the film post.
Now they're really lost.
Oh, God.
You thought they were lost before.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, God.
I only watched that for the first time recently.
Yeah.
And I really
Billy
enjoyed
Idol.
it. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I think 2 and 3 went straight to DVD, so we never saw them. But yeah, I think they could be quite good.
Because they got lost.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, see, I think that would be good.
I
yeah.
loved that film
That was great.
as a kid. Is it still good though? Or was it just good because you was a kid watching it?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know. The trouble is that a lot of movies try to do it. Like the RoboCop tried to do like a reimagining and made it modern.
Yeah.
And it was average, and Terminators tried to be modern, and that shit. Like sometimes it is just best.
It's nice just to have.
Leave it.
It's nice just to have an ending to things. Sometimes I would say they did okay. I think it's because we were talking about them the other week. Small Soldiers.
Ask a good shout.
I would really like.
Would you go sequel or reboot?
What small shoulders?
That's what I've got because I'm working out now. Oh, we can't possibly carry the franchise on your small shoulders, Ben. Look at you. Get out of my office. Oh, of course, you wanted to turn sideways because you've got such small shoulders. You won't be able to get to the door frame.
Sorry, what small soldiers?
Well, small shirts.
Oh no. Forget Small Soldiers. I want the film Small Shoulders.
Small Soldiers is a film. It was like a franchise. It had a few sequels, but it
Has it?
yeah.
Where have I been?
But these are all like direct to DVD ones. They weren't
VHS.
Yeah.
Straight to Betamax.
It was late 90s, and it was literally just about those little green army men.
The Argonauts. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, because it used to be green army men against wasn't it tan army men?
Small Shoulders is about the Argonauts versus the generals.
Yes, because there's also because I keep getting that, and that PS1 game that had the same
No
concept.
More Heroes. No, sorry. It was Army Soldiers.
Not small
Sergeant
soldiers.
Heroes.
Thank you. That I really want that to come back as well, but we'll get to that.
That would be good. They were
First
at one
person
point.
shooter. Yeah, so it was just about toy soldiers against what were they? They weren't they were sort of alien toys.
Yeah, monster-ish.
All set within a kid's bedroom, and it was a bit like Toy Story but with guns. That was kind of thing.
They were cashing in on that.
They were definitely cashing in, and I really enjoyed those when I was younger. And there was a short film that came out a few years ago which sort of got interest back into it, which I'll have to show you because it's really good.
Is it a bit more like adult themed?
Yeah, so I would
Power Rangers.
Yeah, I would love to see. I think I'd like to see a sequel. I'd love to see a sequel to it, and just a massive big budget, like Ant-Man kind of
That
scale.
budget. Yeah,
like Ant-Man scale, but you see these huge nuclear explosions going off, and
it's just
it's
like a match going off.
It's like a firecracker.
Yeah.
I would like to see that back.
and you just got fallout everywhere.
Yeah, I'd love to see that come back.
Or Power Rangers. Get it right. I know they did it.
Yeah,
But it's basically an anime. Just get it right.
If they did that
Stupid people. Why haven't they tried that?
yeah. Come on, mate.
If they did that in a Sonic the Hedgehog way, where it's for kids but it's also got adult humour in it mixed in, and it had the member berries in it, I think that'd be really good.
And a director that cared.
Well, on that lovely note, shall we get on with the film review?
Let's get on with the film review.
On to the review.
Okay, so this week we are reviewing a charming romantic comedy. No, we're reviewing Anora, which is about a young sex worker from Brooklyn who meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled. This film won the Palme d'Or.
Yep.
Thank you. Yep. At Cannes Film Festival.
Hell of a door.
It's the first American film to do so since 2011. It's also been tipped as the best film in 2024 by IndieWire Critics Poll and the American Film Institute, so move over Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah, they're all full of lies.
Yeah, what do they know?
Yeah.
This film has got lots of nominations for the Golden Globes at the point of recording, and I have a feeling that we might see this do quite well at the Oscars. So, just preparing you. This was written and directed by Sean Baker, who has done other independent films, but ones that you probably wouldn't have heard of. I've not heard of them, but it stars Mikey Madison as Anora, or Annie. She starred in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Scream, and Mark Edelstein as Ivan. What do you think this film's budget was?
Oh, come on, mate. I think I know it.
Did you look it up earlier?
I may have, yeah.
Oh my god.
I reckon it's like 12 million.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No. It's my bloody
I've gone
career.
low.
I think it's 6.
Surprise, surprise, it's 6 million.
Get in.
And what do you think it's, at the time of recording, what do you think it has taken home?
1.4 billion.
It has smashed Mufasa
It has.
out of the water. Oh, I bet it can't be much. I bet it's something like 65 million.
20.
So domestically, it's taken just under 14 million, and worldwide, it's taken about 28 million so far.
Okay. So it's going to leave it on about 30 odd million.
But I imagine
Whoa. What are the numbers?
14 million domestically, and worldwide, 28 million.
It's 42. I was close.
Oh.
Just let it be
Hold
known.
on. Hold on. No, because that'd be 28 million worldwide. What? It can't have taken 42
For the
million.
third time.
No.
Why?
What?
14 million domestically.
All right, what's the
28
total
million
box
worldwide.
office?
28 plus 14.
No, it's just 28 million because
Oh,
that
just
includes
28.
domestic.
Oh, well, 28. That's not bad. What was it? 6 mil?
For 6 million to get 30 mil back, that's pretty damn good.
Just to re-establish, that was 28 million.
And a lot of awards as well.
Nice. And is that American dollars or Canadian dollars?
I imagine it will do even better if it does win at the Oscars, because I'd imagine then a lot more people will see it.
I doubt it if it's not
Yeah.
a cinema.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to push your box office when it's not in cinema.
It has been at cinema. And this film can be viewed on Apple TV, but you do have to pay for it.
It was trending. Well,
Yes.
that's where we found it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you went out searching for this.
No?
Just search trending films. And this was what come up.
Yeah, that's
But Jeremy
what Google
Johns
says.
and Chris Stockman both had it in there.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show, yeah.
We hope. One day. Maybe.
Message us later, mate.
Please.
We'll go for that beer.
Yeah. talk about total versus domestic box office, and now that's a weird system now. It's like saying, oh, there's one of us in the room domestically, but total there's 3.
Yeah, they both put it in their top films of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start reviewing this family-friendly film by asking Ben, did you watch it with your mum?
Oh, I had a whole family gathering for it. Had everyone around
Turned
extended.
into a mass orgy.
This is what
So
happens.
glad my mum hasn't got Spotify. I don't think she's.
I share the link to her, don't worry about
Oh,
that.
cheers, mate. Great.
Just the voice clips. So the film opens up with Annie, I'm going to call her, in a strip club. So you get to see Annie's story to start with.
Oh, you see a lot of her story.
You see a lot of boobs, a lot of lap dances. So what did you think of the build-up to Annie's character, Ben?
I think it perfectly captured my annual Tuesday nights.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I'm not where you think I would be.
Well, at home in the orgy.
I like this joke. I'm quite happy for us to have running jokes throughout the episode, but this is what I'm going to have to veto, I think.
Where's the blue man group? I missed the blue man.
It's not worth it to do it this time. It's been weeks. It's an interesting way of doing it. It's an interesting way of starting a film. You wouldn't normally...
Put a pair of boobs in your face.
I mean, certain films you would, but you normally...
You'd look out of place on Pinocchio.
What a creative risk that would be. It's an interesting way of doing it. It's certainly going to get your attention, I would say. Like, it was...
Attention was taken.
damn right. It's not like a wide shot of New York where this film is set.
Harry, what did you think of Annie's character to begin with?
Oh, Mikey, I thought she acted very well. I think it was stressful, right? Mm-hmm. Not straight off the rip. It was quite, I would say, friendly.
I'd say she was just a very...
Strippers are friendly if you pay them enough.
Absolutely. Just sadly, yeah.
I tell you this. She is not always likeable, But
No.
she's from the off. I think she's likable when you first meet her, and she has that bit of a tiff with the ginger lady, and you're like, "Fuck you, ginger lady."
Yeah.
And you're on her side, and
together
they're a fun little couple.
Yeah.
They're literally two young birds. So young couple.
Are you talking
having
about
fun.
her and Ivan?
Yeah, because that happens very early on, doesn't it? And you kind of see that she lives in a house share, doesn't she? And very early on, it's like, did you get the milk? She's like, is it in the fridge? Obviously not.
All right, rude.
And the contrast of like that scenario where she lives, and then she has a little taste of life with Ivan. Are very different.
Who wouldn't?
He built.
Oh, I would fuck him if it.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
He could. He could. Well, sorry, I'm lost.
Red. Flustered.
Sorry.
Has it got warm in here?
Sorry.
He builds a picture that she's living paycheck to paycheck, right? Because she's literally like coming home, managing to get sleep, and then she's back off to work.
And she's quite a strong character, which I quite liked as well.
Yeah.
She didn't take no shit from anyone, from the other strippers, from the manager to Ivan's friends, shall we say.
I found it hard to connect with her in the beginning, but I think it was just such a culture shock because I think we were like 2 minutes in, we'd seen about 10 pair of boobs at this point, 5 lap dances, and we were like,
and then you turn the film on.
Okay, this is where we're going with this.
I have to say, who described this film as a romantic comedy?
It's on it's definitely in the title bit. When I've said this before the podcast, when I saw the post
synopsis,
when I saw the poster and the plot and it said the genre is romantic comedy, I went, "Oh, Stacey!" So I was like, I've got to watch I now have to watch another romantic comedy. But then as soon as I saw
tits, you son of a bitch,
I'm back in. Oh, great!
You absolutely prejudged me, Ben.
I did, yes, and I will continue to do
I
so.
did as well, to be fair, because on the description it has romantic, drama, comedy, and it is one of those things.
I would call it a romantic drama. So we move on from we don't move on from the strip club. She meets Ivan, her potential love interest in the strip club, who's this son of a Russian oligarch.
Born into money, never has worked a day in his life.
He's having brat summer.
He's having his brat summer. He's in his brat girl era.
And I'm surprised you know what that means.
I don't.
Okay.
I've got the list of Gen Z words.
Yeah, thank you. Tick it off. We used it.
And he whisks her away to a really wealthy life, to a mansion. They go to Vegas for a night, they party with his friends, it's party, shit music, drug. What did you think of Ivan?
I mean, it should be said that he does hire her. He doesn't just like whisk her away. Like, he does say, like, will you be my girlfriend for a week? Or something like that. And then, to be fair, good negotiating, because she asked for 15k. Like, that is good negotiating. At the start, I thought it was just kind of, I don't know, standard sort of spoiled rich kid, but it was quite funny in his own way. It wasn't anything I hadn't seen before from like that sort of character or that sort of person, because you know there are people like that in the world that exist, who are just never have to work a day in their life, know exactly where they are in the world and the social ladder, just will pay for anything and everything. But yeah, he wasn't a dickhead. Pretty much from what I could see, he paid for everything.
I think Ben's referring to like when he went to the hotel and the guy was like, I'm so sorry, you come unannounced. Like, we've got your room ready. It's going to be about half an hour away.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is unacceptable. Do you know who I am? Nah, I'm just fucking with you, mate. And he's like, I'll just go get a drink. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's not inherently an awful person, but he's a fucking brat.
Yeah.
He needs a slap.
Yeah.
He does. I won't know any of that shit.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
No. Not on my shift.
What kind of shit?
If I was his friend, I'd be like, wind your
The
fucking
hotel
neck up.
manager.
I've had enough of your shit. You do not respect me. You do not
Oh, he's bought me a new car.
Yay!
Yeah. Best friend, Ivan.
I can't see me now.
He is hot. He's funny, and he's not a cunt in a traditional sense.
No.
Hang on a minute.
He's not.
I'm adding layers here.
Wait a minute.
I'm adding layers.
What's a traditional cunt?
Exhibit A.
No, we'll get into why he's a bit of an arsehole later on. But at this point in the film, he's a bit of a lovable rogue who's got a lot of money, just wants to live his best life.
Yeah.
He's entitled. He, like you say, he hasn't lifted his fucking fingers up to do anything.
And as well, he does treat Annie well in this story. He does treat her well. Like, he does.
He treats her like a human being.
Yeah, like
he
he's
doesn't
not
treat her like a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's not like diminishing her, and he's not like just sending her away immediately. All this sort of stuff.
I don't know if it's my age, but I thought he looked about 12. So when they started having sex and he was paying for all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, then.
They do address that earlier.
The film does very quickly say, he is 21 years old, 21, 2 and 1, like Blackjack. He's 21, she's 23. Gone bust. But it's a bit like Blackjack, 23 and 21. Completely overboard here.
But no, I thought he was really sweet. I really liked him at the start. Like you say, he's a bit lovable. He's naive. He's funny. He does play PlayStation.
Trying to figure out what game that was he was playing. I thought it was Gears of War. I don't think it was.
I thought COD.
Okay. Also, he cannot play that game to save his life.
Oh, it's classic video game playing on a film, isn't it? Where they hold it awkwardly like a praying mantis, and they're sort of like jabbing at the controller,
and they're hitting every
having a seizure.
They're sitting hitting every single button at the same time. I was like, why? Please, Sean, the next film, as a consultant, hire one of us. Just have them play it. Just have the actor play the game.
Yeah,
just do it in the game. It's really pissed me off.
I'd just like to point out that that's exactly how me and Harry play games. He's playing it and I'm cuddling him at the same time. That's how we played Final Fantasy.
And I'm doing get off.
Oh yeah, if the camera pans a bit right, I'm also seeing it at the end of the
episode. Leave Ben.
No, it's dark.
But I really like the setup story for them both because I found it really sweet and really romantic, and he pays attention to her and they end up just talking around having sex, and they really kind of bond. So it gets to a point where they're hanging out in his mansion, and then 3 of his father's company turns up at the house. Now, we're not going to talk too much about what happens. You get a very early intro as to his other side of his life with his family.
I mean, his dad in this is an oligarch.
When his father's company get involved in the film, they obviously start speaking Russian amongst themselves. And there was a point where we thought, hang on, are we missing subtitles here? And we had to Google it. And it turns out that he didn't put subtitles on the Russian part of the film.
I like it though. You feel lost. I imagine how she feels. Because she understands a bit of Russian, but not properly, and you can see points where she's like, what the fuck are you going on about?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kicking up some of this and it's not good. But yeah, it's the 2 henchmen, isn't it? And the third turns up a bit later. Because
I saw something saying that some people felt like they'd missed out half of the film because they couldn't understand what they were saying.
I quite like that though when films do that, when they don't give you the subtitles. I quite like that.
Yeah, no, I appreciated the fact that there was no subtitles. I'm not really one for the artsy part, but I did enjoy the fact that you couldn't understand what's going on. You got the gist.
Yeah.
Because the body language speaks a lot. You can tell by how angry they're saying it.
Yep.
I think this might have been a mixture of Russian and Armenian. Okay, so I think we're going to have to pause it there before we go into spoiler territory. So give me your kind of overview and whether you're going to give it Nan approval or not, Ben.
I was going into this film thinking I wasn't going to enjoy it. And then I saw Sean Baker's name. The acting in this is incredible. There's no one in this that's bad at all, and I really liked the storyline of it. I liked just how sort of grounded it was. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think if I'd watched this back in 2024, this would have been on my films of the year. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Nan approved for me.
Harry?
So I would definitely give this Nan approval because I think it was awesome. I also had the same concerns going in. I was like, oh, it's going to be the same shitty love story I've seen over and over. And yeah, it delivered. I thought it was very good. The acting, as you said, was spot on. She was phenomenal. I thought she was a little force of nature. The emotion she goes through as well. Like when she's happy, you feel it. When she's upset, when she's crying, you feel it. Like you feel like you could be in the car with her, that sort of thing. I think that's a sign of a good actor. Yeah. Also, the story, like you say, it's wrapped up, it's done. There's no need for any unnecessary bullshit. There's not going to be a sequel to it. It's a nice little package.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would make my top list, but it would make an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, you've both nan-approved it for me, but I would have nan-approved it as well for all the reasons that you both have said. The characters were amazing. I was a bit nervous at first, given that it was such a bit of a different film than you've ever seen before, but I think for that reason it's worth watching alone.
Yeah.
And I'd put this on a list with other independent romantic drama. If you liked Once or Amelie or that sort of thing, this one's not as PG, but still really, really good. Go and see it. So we're getting into spoiler territory now. So as I mentioned, the two guys from Ivan's dad's company turn up. With a third. So yeah, they turn up because they've heard he's got married. Chaos ensues. There's a lot of shouting in Russian. Furious. And then with no kind of lead up to it, because Annie doesn't know what's going on. Ivan bolts from the house. And then they try to subdue Annie, who has no idea what's going on. What did you think at this point?
So at this point, it kind of feels like you said mafia related. Like she's kind of married into the wrong family. Mm-hmm. They're going, no, you are not part of this family. You're not getting your grubby little whore hands on my money. Which is what you said to me when we got married. Funny enough.
Yeah.
And get your whore hands.
I'll get them. I'll find it.
Where's your wedding breakfast? Very awkward.
At this point, this is where I well and truly turned on Ivan. Like I was already on the fence. Like he was a cool dude, but was kind of a prick. And then he went from kind of a prick to an utter prick. The level on the prick scale, he was shooting through.
Yeah, he's gone right up there.
He's right up there. Yeah, he just abandoned her. And it's not like he just abandons her. He ignores all phone calls from anyone that's got contact with him. So he clearly has just had his fun, got his willy wet, had his brat summer. And he wants to leave. He knew this was coming as well.
You're going into Brat Girl Autumn.
Yeah.
preparing for the long Brat Girl hibernation through Brat Girl winter until Brat Girl spring. I don't know how Gen Z works. I don't know how this all works.
If you're from Gen Z and listen, please explain.
Please help us.
But yeah, he just has no regard for anyone else but himself. He knows what when he married her, he knew what he was doing. He knew it was going to last a couple of weeks and then he'd have to, answer those horrible questions from his family, and at the first chance he gets, he Sonic the Hedgehog's out of that fucking house.
Literally. From the moment of the house invasion up until kind of the annulment of the marriage, a lot of that is so funny. There's bits in that which are so fucking funny, like the fact that he gets his car almost towed. They're also just so incompetent. Like, they clearly are not mob people. They're not really even enforcers. They're just kind of...
She beats the fuck out of both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And it's literally that great bit when he's like, oh, she's just a little girl. He's like, she's not.
She's a monster. She's a monster. Do you not think the film took a weird turn at that point where I was having a good time and lots of boobs and bum, that's terrific.
Great.
I was having a great time.
Nan approved.
Yeah.
Right?
Trousers fully down.
They were never on. And it's high pressure, constant noise, a barrage on the senses, and that's what I felt with this film. Like, fucking, one of the notes I put was like, fuck, make it, there we go, fuck, make the shouting stop. Very stressful, not the vibe I needed on Christmas week.
This was not very Christmassy.
It was not very Christmassy. It was executed brilliantly, I might add.
Yeah.
Like, you felt the panic, the stress, because Toros, he's like the babysitter, isn't he? He's meant to look after Ivan whilst the parents are in Russia. And he's done a terrible job, let's be frank. He has let Ivan do whatever the fuck he wants.
He's getting sacked so quickly.
But you're right, because you think they're mafia to begin with, but then actually you realise they're quite nice
they're just
guys.
Hired goons.
They're
just
normal people.
Yeah, they're just normal people who, like... Because again, they even say, like, he comes in and you're like, why did you tie her up?
Yeah.
Because they're like, this looks really bad. Like, you need to untie her right now, because that's, like, awful and illegal. They're like, I'm so sorry.
This for me was the turning point for Annie. I really liked Annie from this moment onwards, because I didn't really connect with her in the beginning of the film, but at this point you saw how feisty she was, how she wasn't taking any shit, and then when you see them go from place to place to place and they're not getting through to Ivan, you see her hope just start to go and go and go, because As you know, being the naive one of this podcast, when Ivan bolted, I genuinely still didn't think he was being a shit. No. I genuinely was like, he will come back for her, or he'll find her.
But that's the point when I resonated with Ivan. That's the point when I resonated with Even the most, because I would have done the exact same thing. I wouldn't be coming back for anyone. I would be completely looking after myself. I'd have ran so fast.
So they do finally get hold of him because he goes back to the strip club.
Which is not, wouldn't you think that'd be one of the first places you would look?
The biggest plot hole for me was they don't check his card details. So you could look at his transactions, his ATM transactions, because he's using a card, right? Mm. Online banking's a thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
They catch up with him. She can't get a straight answer out of him because he can't literally put two sentences together.
She doesn't want the marriage to be annulled. That's her whole drive.
Not because of money. Because she loves him.
Yeah.
Or does she think she loves him?
That was my big thing. That was when I was always in two minds about Annie about this, because I was like, would you still love him?
Are you marrying the lifestyle?
I was like, if would you have still loved him if he had nothing? And I was going to say, I don't really think she would have. So they try and get the marriage annulled in New York, which I thought was a really good plot twist. Because they were like, well, you didn't fucking say it was in Nevada.
Well, so they drag Ivan to the court and they manage to find a lawyer, and they literally are holding him up at the court. I actually didn't see that coming, that the judge would then be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I have been hungover in a few places in my life. I could not imagine.
Not been divorced, no?
I could not imagine anything worse than me sort of coming back into consciousness and realising I'm in a courthouse.
Being divorced.
And literally being held up. I would be like, what have I done now? This is the worst morning I've ever had.
Last thing I remember, I was having a Foster's Shandy.
You're having a
and I was already leathered.
So they do go back to Nevada to get the divorce, and that's when you meet Ivan's parents. What are your thoughts?
I mean, they sort of strike me as very standard rich people.
Oh no, the dad, he's hilarious.
The dad is really
He
funny.
don't give a fuck. He's just like, Ivan, do what you want, dip your dick anywhere. Yeah. It's just like, fucking hell, this is hilarious. You know, the mum is the person who's in control, obviously.
Yeah.
She is.
She's kick-ass.
Yeah, we'll not mess with her.
Very awkward. I had a real horrible cringe moment when Annie tries to introduce herself to her mum, and I was like,
in Russian.
I was like, this is the wrong place, the wrong time, don't do this, please.
But again, that was so sad because her hope has gone and gone and gone, and that was her last moment of, I can make this
bring
work.
it back.
That is the moment when Ivan refuses to speak to her, and he's sober at this point.
Oh, I hate him. He's such a child. He's just they even say it as well, like, he's just a child. He's a brat that never grew up. And he still gets coddled, and he still can get himself out of any bit of that. And he can't even like look at her in the eye and say like, "Oh, I'm sorry" or anything like that.
But this is the thing, because originally when they were saying that, when they first came in, they were saying, you don't know him, he's a brat, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, he's not. Give him a chance. Now I understand.
Did you not find it insulting that they've got all this money, and let's face it, a lot of money. They get her a private jet to just fly to Nevada, and they offer her $10,000.
That's rubbish. I would have asked.
Kick off.
I'd have asked for $1 million.
Yeah, easy meal. And then I'd sign it.
And a round of applause.
Yeah. Well, it looked like at one point she had the upper hand, and she's like, I'm not going to sign that for $10,000.
Yeah.
I'll be going to my lawyers, and I'll be taking half of his wealth. And then she's like, yeah, you do that. And I'll come after your friends, I'll come after your family, and I'll make everyone's life a living hell. And you're like, oh yeah, you don't fuck with that woman.
Yeah.
Because she means it.
I'll come after your house, your car, your Sonic statue.
Enough!
No, please! No!
Take my wife, take my dog, but not the Sonic statue.
Your Dragon Ball.
Not the dog.
Your Dragon Balls. Your Dragon Ball. 7? I'll take 5 of them.
Oh, it's even worse! But yeah, it was the turning point for Ivan. I think there was no salvation for that character at that point. It was done, settled.
And I think he even says the line, which I found probably the worst one, when he says, no, that was like a fun goodbye to America or something like that.
He thanks her, doesn't he? He's like, thanks for a fun goodbye to America.
She does get a good final hit in there, which I quite liked, when she says to the mum, like, he hates you so much, he married me to piss you off. I was like, yes, like, do not just walk out of there, Annie. You've got to walk out with your head held high.
Yeah, that's what I like about her. She's still not going down without a fight.
I wonder if it's a New York thing. Very
she had
New
a
York.
Very
thick
Brooklyn.
accent.
Then she goes back for one last night in the house with the other bodyguards, and then they end up having sex in his car.
What did you think of him as a character? I really liked him.
He is the most patient human being I've ever seen on screen. I know you like the character. I would have applauded if he sparked her out. She deserved a slap. She did.
He's not there as like a bad guy, or he's not really there to be like an enforcer. He's just kind of there like, I just do this as a job. Like, I don't really like it. I don't
There's
like...
no allegiance.
Yeah, I don't like these people I work for. Like, he even says to her at the start, like, oh, congratulations on your marriage. Like that. He's just there to, I think, get a paycheck and sort of, I assume, look after his grandmother.
He gives her the ring. He sneaks the ring.
That's easily worth tens and tens and tens of thousands.
We'll find out shortly.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I knew you'd want to know.
He was the
liked
person
him.
she was meant to be with.
I thought that was going to be... I mean, it's implied at the end of the story that's kind of where it might go, because also that's the only time she cries as well. Like, and I quite liked how it ended like that, because she never cried once throughout the entire thing, and then right at the end, which I thought was a nice thing with like the snow obscuring them as well. Like, she finally cries.
Oh, turn off the windscreen wipers. That's the first thing I said.
Yeah, it was.
You're literally giving people a view.
Yeah. They pan to the right. Would have been me and Harry outside. Like... Telly didn't really have any kind of allegiance, because he does say, to bear in mind, his employers, who are like, probably paying him a decent salary, they do say, it's not my place, I think Evan should apologise. And I was like, that's ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into trivia, the ending is open for interpretation. So what do you think happens when the cameras stop rolling?
I think there's hints in this throughout the film, like any time she's in distress, there's a radio on. And at the end of it, I think Annie is actually the Winter Soldier.
Oh, you think the code words are being played?
I think the code words are being played. I think immediately after that...
She then goes on a rampage.
Yeah, I think she goes full Marvel.
That's why she was able to break his nose so
That is
easily.
exactly why.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
I think she kind of just goes back to her life, thinking about what might have been. Maybe she moves into a nicer flat. Maybe, but I think that would be it. Maybe she dates him for a little while and then that...
I think he pumps and dumps.
Oh my god, no!
I think they go on a few dates and then that's it. Ivan grows up to be nothing special, or probably dies from a drug overdose, I imagine.
Yeah, makes it to 28.
Yeah, and then that's it.
What did you think of the ending?
I like the fact it's open to interpretation. They're a good match. I don't think they would last, only because she's had a taste for the high life. And I think that she'll probably chase that lifestyle again.
Yeah.
And he is a simple man who wants simple things. Like, he drives his nan's car, which is nothing fancy.
I liked that line.
Yeah.
It's really sad, isn't it?
And he's just a humble guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like you say, he brings up his nan a few times and he just wants to help her. She asked him for drugs at some point and he's like, I don't deal drugs.
Yeah.
I don't touch that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's just, like you say, trying to earn a living, an honest-ish living.
I think that it was a nice full circle for Annie when she's crying whilst having sex with him, because I think she starts
Awkward orgasm.
Because he goes to kiss her and then she realises that all of this stuff she's doing is very transactional. None of it's meaningful. None of it's emotive. And that's why I think that she did actually really like Ivan for Ivan, because he did talk to her. He treated her like a person. He brought that side of her out a little bit, and then he absolutely destroyed that part of her, and this bodyguard guy kind of brought it back at the end. He is actually the only one that really cares about her in this film, and I think that's what she kind of realises at the end.
But then as well, like I thought at some point the idea of the film was that it was going to be the parents completely cut him off and be like, all right, then you have nothing. You have absolutely
I thought
nothing.
that was potentially
and then
a way.
The second half of the film was going to be her actually kind of realising, like, oh, actually, I don't love you for you. I loved you for the lifestyle you gave me rather than like for you.
I thought.
But I don't know. I still
Glad
think
it went this way.
Yeah,
Different.
yeah. It's a very good independent film.
So let's get into some trivia then. Because it is a new film in 2024, I don't have reams and reams, but there are a couple here that Harry wanted to know, I think, as we were watching the film. So first of all, I'm going to say that Mikey did do the pole dancing herself.
I think I named her the human Beyblade.
You did. You did.
Motherfucker, she spins fast. When she come off, there's the smoke coming off of it.
That's her stripper name, yeah.
That is what? Let her rip.
Let it rip.
No,
That's what she says before every club.
All right, if I ever was in another strip club and they did that, they could...
So I'd get one and you get one.
Yeah,
I could pick different strippers.
Yeah.
excuse me.
And they could like spin off.
Stacey, please, we're talking.
Yeah, so she went to a stripper clamp. Stripper clamp?
Stripper clamp. It's a clamp.
Stripper camp. She went to a stripper camp.
When can I join? Is there a salary? How do I work at this place?
Before this film, Mikey didn't know any Russian, but Yura Borisov, or Igor, the bodyguard, didn't know any English. So,
Really?
yeah.
That's interesting.
And then I thought Harry would really want to know the price of this ring.
I'd like to know.
Yeah.
I would like to know the price of this ring.
No, Ben, you must shut your ears off. Close them.
Oh, okay.
Like a clamp.
A stripper clamp.
A stripper clamp.
So, assuming she's telling Tauros the truth about its quality, the ring is worth, how much do you think?
2 million.
Half a million.
Oh, okay. $160,000.
Is that it? Ah, fucking hell.
Hang on.
Keep the ring, you trash.
160,000. Is that domestic or total?
Still a lot more than the 10,000 they offered.
So
I said that actually when it was all kicking off, right? The very first point where the two bodyguards come in and the henchmen, they come in and it's all going south, right? If I'm her, first thing I'm doing is going upstairs. I'm fucking raiding that jewellery, all of it. That's where the money is. I'd be swooping anything that's fucking valuable because you could see it unfold. Like this is not going to end well for me, so I'm going to take as much as I'm a shithead. What can I say?
If I'm honest with you, I would pay money to see what you would have done in this circumstance.
I
would have joined sides with the henchman. I'm like, let's get him.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get him.
I'd have been. I think I would have panicked. I would have just grabbed a vase. I would have been running out with a vase.
I dropped it.
Hang on, because I was trying to add this up in the film. Now that I've got the final piece, so the ring's worth 160k domestic, and then she earned 15k from spending the week with him. Then she, I don't know, for an in-call for a sex worker, from memory, that costs about...
From very recent memory.
From somebody recent memory. That would have been, I don't know, 500, 500 or 600 bucks. So she's coming out of this with about 180,000.
It's a good business venture.
She's coming out of this with about $180,000.
Get on that stripper camp.
That is not a bad way to spend 2 weeks.
On her resume, she's got stripper and...
Businesswoman.
Yeah.
She's in
Money
profit.
stripper. Okay, and my final fact for you is about Garnick, the other bodyguard who you got the broken nose that you thought was quite funny.
It is very funny.
I think this trivia only adds to the comedy value. So Here we go. When Sean Baker, the director, and Vache Tovmazian, the guy who played Garnick, talked about the character of Garnick's backstory, they came up with the idea that Garnick is an alcoholic who is currently sober, but over the course of the movie falls off the wagon when he's given drugs and drink to deal with being kicked in the face. His sobriety is hinted at during the New Year's Eve party when Garnick is seen drinking water.
Oh. He is having a real bad relapse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be fair, after everything that happened in the day, I would be going back to booze instantly. I am so
looking back.
I am so much happier with the alcohol.
Yeah.
All I'll say is
So-
this. 15-year-old Harry would have burnt this DVD out.
Because it's so artistically valuable.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
All of those reasons.
That is exactly why you would have watched it, and some bits may have been more scratched than others.
Oh, if you skipped past the first 40 minutes, the DVD would work fine.
Yeah. But before that, it'd be a nightmare.
So on that note, we've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch all of our latest episodes every Wednesday wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. And if there's something you want us to review, email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Have a good one.